Hello?
Hello, Neo. Do you know who this is?
Keanu Reeves is a Canadian actor, director, producer, rock musician, businessman, and just an amazing person. There are legends about his shyness and kind heart. His charm and bright appearance drive women of all ages crazy. During his acting career, he starred in more than 100 films, among which were real masterpieces. This video is about the path to stardom of one of the brightest men of our time. Keanu Reeves, how Hollywood's most wholesome guy lives and how he spends his millions. Keanu Charles Reeves was born in Beirut, Lebanon on September 2, 1964, in the family of an English woman, Patricia Bond, and an American, Samuel Reeves, who had a wild cocktail of Portuguese, Chinese, and Hawaiian blood. By the way, Keanu got his unusual name in tribute to the origin of his dad. Translated from Hawaiian, it means cool mountain wind. At the time of the meeting in 1960, Patricia was working as a dancer and Sam was doing odd jobs, including some shady ones. The man didn't have a decent education. He even received a school certificate in prison while serving time for drug trafficking. Over time, he managed to get a job as a geologist. The young family's life was hectic, with constant moving, and 2 years after the birth of their son, they found themselves in Sydney, Australia. Their youngest daughter, Kim, was born here in 1966. Soon, the father of the family left Patricia and the children. Keanu was so frustrated and resentful that even as he grew older, he did not resume contact with his dad, cutting off all his attempts at bonding. After Australia, the Reeves family moved first to New York, where Patricia became a successful costume designer before settling in Toronto, Canada. She married 3 more times, gave birth to a daughter, Karina Miller, from her third husband, but all her marriages inevitably collapsed. Studying was not easy for Keanu, as the boy was diagnosed with dyslexia, which they tried to fight with the help of speech therapists and psychologists. But the disorder is called genius disease for a reason. Reeves read a lot of books, including all of Proust, thanks to which he cultivated perseverance, diligence, and trained his memory close to a phenomenal level. Besides, he was an excellent chess player, and as a child, beat some adults earning $1 for a win. Keanu still loves to read newspapers with chess puzzles on the pages. And what Canadian boy doesn't play backyard hockey? Reeves was noticed by a local coach and invited to one of the schools. In his childhood team, he was a goalkeeper, but according to his teammates, he didn't have the physique necessary for this role and compensated for this with amazing agility and jumping ability, for which he received the nickname The Wall. By the way, he is still in the International Hockey Player Database and enjoys playing for himself and rooting for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Apart from sports, Keanu attended drama club. After an injury, Keanu had to give up on a great future in hockey, so he concentrated on his second hobby. At the age of 9, he first tried acting. He played in the musical comedy Damn Yankees, and at the age of 15, he appeared on stage as the Shakespeare's Mercutio. At the age of 17, the guy dropped out of school and left home for his girlfriend named Pat. He never received the certificate. Keanu had to pay for his free life by doing any part-time job, including mowing lawns in other people's lawns and cooking spaghetti in Italian cafes. In 1983, the young man appeared in a Coca-Cola commercial as a cyclist. Reeves still remembers that shoot with warmth and laughter, because they had to shoot in winter, pretending that they were languishing from the heat. After that, he appeared in many more Nave commercials, including advertising for Canon cameras and Japanese whiskey Suntory. At the same time, Keanu took part in small TV series and short films, and his first notable role was in the film Youngblood, where he played the goalkeeper of a hockey team and received a fee of $3,000. After the film was released in 1986, Keanu, with the help of his first stepfather, Broadway director Paul Aaron, received an American green card and moved to Los Angeles. There, he got an agent, and on his advice, used his pseudonym for the first time, because he considered the name Keanu too exotic. Therefore, in some films, he appeared as Norman Reeves and Chuck Spadina in honor of one of the streets in Toronto. The end of the 80s was the time for a good start in the big movie for Keanu. In 1988, he appeared in such films as Dangerous Liaisons, The Night Before, Permanent Record, and The Prince of Pennsylvania. Then he played in Parenthood, Life Underwater, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and then in the TV series of the same name and in its sequel. After the movies I Love You to Death, Tune In Tomorrow, My Own Private Idaho, the premiere of the action movie Point Break became a real breakthrough. Patrick Swayze was his partner on the set, but Keanu was so good on his role that he got the MTV Movie Award for Most Desirable Male.
You mad? Yeah, I'm mad! Good and mad! Yeah! What do you want to do about it? Feels good, doesn't it? Like you're still alive, right? Yeah! Well, since you're still alive, and you're not in the box just yet, why don't you tell me this theory of yours and we'll go get these guys?
The role in Bram Stoker's Dracula, which was released in 1992, was also a great success. Interestingly enough, Reeves and Winona Ryder's characters were married by a real Romanian priest, and now it is their favorite subject for jokes to call themselves legally husband and wife. In 1993, even Cowgirls Get the Blues, Much Ado About Nothing, and the colorful philosophical drama Little Buddha were released on the screens. For the main role, Keanu had to lose a lot of weight, sitting on a strict diet of oranges and water. The reaction of the audience and critics was polarized. Some were delighted, while others couldn't figure out who the film was made for and criticized the actor's performance. A short but apt review of the film came from the Dalai Lama himself, who offered modest praise but remarked that Buddha could not be small, pointing to the film's title.
I've never seen it. I've not even seen my own city. I must see the world, Yashodhara, with my own eyes.
The very next year, the actor broke into the world of A-list celebrities after his role in the movie Point Break. The director of the action movie Speed couldn't imagine anyone else for this role aside from Keanu. The film was a huge success, and his partner was Sandra Bullock, with whom Keanu is still good friends. Although it was rumored that there was a fleeting romance between the performers of the main roles, Reeves received a fee of $1 million for this role.
Shot me. I can't believe it. They're giving you a medal for shooting me, you little prick.
Harry, you told me to.
Member of the Los Angeles Police Department.
When the film was released, work on Johnny Mnemonic was actually finished. However, the Sony officials, seeing the success of Speed, demanded a reshoot of many of the scenes in order to add fights and shootings. Initially, the movie was supposed to be an atmospheric fantasy film with noir and cyberpunk vibes.
Must have been pretty good at memorizing, huh?
Implant, wet wired. I had to dump a chunk of long-term memory.
You had to dump a chunk of what?
My childhood.
Your childhood.
The actor's next works were A Walk in the Clouds, Chain Reaction, Feeling Minnesota, and The Last Time I Committed Suicide. The pearl of Keanu's filmography is rightfully considered the mystical thriller The Devil's Advocate, released in 1997.
What are you?
Oh! I have so many names.
Say,
Call me Dad.
In order to participate in the filming, he had to refuse the offer of a role in the sequel of Speed, as well as part of his fee, which amounted to $8 million, to ensure Al Pacino's participation in the project. 2 years later, the world was shocked by the release of the cult sci-fi thriller The Matrix. The preparation for the shooting was tremendous. The actors trained for several months, and just before the start of practice, Keanu injured his cervical vertebrae, which further inconvenienced him. He had to wear a special bandage for several days, and he had to make another sacrifice for the scene of Neo's awakening in the capsule. The actor lost almost 15 pounds and shaved his whole body, including eyebrows.
wow, that sounds like a really good deal. But I think I got a better one. How about I give you the finger, and you give me my phone call?
In the early 2000s, after The Matrix, the public expected something extraordinary from the actor, but what followed was a series of quite average films. Among them are The Replacement with a fee of $12.5 million, Hardball, The Gift, and The Watcher, in which Keanu didn't even want to participate. However, his insidious agent forged his signature on the contract, and Reeves reasoned that it was easier to act in the film than to butt heads with the traitor in court. In 2001, the melodrama Sweet November was released, which was not a huge hit, but it was very important for Keanu, who had suffered a personal tragedy and really wanted to vent his feelings on the screen.
What do you do, by the way?
I'm in advertising.
Advertising. So you enjoy?
People tend to enjoy what they're really good at.
This was almost the only time when Keanu himself was chasing the director, persuading him to give him the lead role. The fact is that in 1998, at one of the parties, he met his sister's friend Jennifer Syme. The passion blossomed, and Reeves, who had convinced everyone that he was a hardened bachelor, bonded with the girl with all his soul. They even decided to become parents, but a week before the birth, the baby girl, whom they decided to name Ava Archer, suffered a cardiac arrest. The actor withdrew into himself, and his lover decided to fight the grief with alcohol. That's what eventually led to her death. In April 2001, Syme died in a car accident while returning from a drunken party. After these tragic events, the actor could not dare to have a serious relationship for a long time, limiting himself to short-term romances or friendships with women. After he survived this series of misfortunes, Keanu took a new job. In 2003, the drama Something's Gotta Give was released, as well as 2 sequels of The Matrix, At Once Reloaded and Revolutions, which followed the story of the war between people and machines.
If you tell me we'll make it, I'll believe you.
We'll make it. We have to.
The films grossed a very decent figure at the box office, exceeding $1 billion, and Keanu received 15% of that in addition to his $30 million fee for both movies. However, he took a risk during production by turning down $38 million to have the money invested in creating costumes and special effects. As time has shown, this investment has more than paid off. After that, Keanu had a forced break from work because his sister Kim was diagnosed with advanced leukemia. The girl received this devastating diagnosis back in 1993, but for many years, she managed to keep the disease under control. In order to help her, Reeves stopped all activities and went to the Swiss city of Montreux, where he stayed with his sister constantly. Fortunately, the disease was defeated, and now Keanu is an active participant in charity events aimed at fighting cancer. Release of the superhero action movie Constantine, based on the mystical comic book Hellblazer, took place only 2 years later.
This is Constantine. John Constantine. Asshole.
The film didn't collect awards and a lot of money, pleasing only loyal fans of Keanu. However, the movie has a chance for revenge. The Warner Bros. Film Company announced the production of a sequel in September 2022. In the same period, the movies Thumbsucker, Ellie Parker, A Scanner Darkly, The Lake House, and Street Kings were released. The 2008 movie The Day the Earth Stood Still became special for Keanu because, unlike other works, no one competed with him in casting. The producer of the film, Erwin Stoff, couldn't imagine anyone else in the role of the alien Klaatu. The filming turned out to be very exciting for the actor. He improvised a lot and even added a few lines to the script. Perhaps this practice served as a starting point for his future directorial career. In 2013, he directed the film of Man of Tai Chi, where he also starred. At the same time, Reeves kept starring in movies by other directors. He has appeared in such films as The Private Lives of Pippa Lee, Henry's Crime, Generation and 47 Ronin. The next cinematic masterpiece in which Keanu starred was loved by both the public and critics. For the role of a retired assassin, he even received a rare positive Golden Raspberry for restoring the actor's reputation, Razzie Redeemer Award. The action movie John Wick served as the birth of a media franchise, which included films and television series, comics, soundtracks, and computer games. The 4th movie is about to be released, and the 5th one has been announced.
Noise complaint.
Noise complaint. You, working again?
No, just sorting some stuff out.
In the following years, the actor starred in the films Knock Knock, The Whole Truth, Exposed, The Neon Demon, The Bad Batch, Replicas to the Bone, Siberia, Destination Wedding, Always Be My Maybe, Between Two Ferns, the movie, and Bill and Ted Face the Music. There is also quite a unique film in Keanu's filmography. This is a crime comedy, Keanu, which tells a story about the adventures of 2 friends saving their kitten. The name and voice of the kitten are Reeves, and by the way, this is not the only time when the actor voiced characters. For example, in Toy Story 4, he voiced Duke Kaboom. The year 2021 saw the release of the Wachowski sisters movie, The Matrix Resurrections.
I felt either I'm having a mental breakdown again, or I'm living inside a computer-generated reality that has imprisoned me. Again.
And a year earlier, to the delight of gamers, Cyberpunk 2077 was released. It was a video game created by Polish developers based on a tabletop game published in 1988. Keanu played one of the main characters in the game and appeared in a fast-paced promo video.
Test of a person's true value? Death. Facing it, staring it down. You still got a chance to be somebody.
Keanu is one of the richest actors in Hollywood. His fortune is estimated at $380 million, while the ratio of his one-time fee to the total amount of his earnings is a historical record that no one has been able to break since 2003. Reeves is happy to spend his money on gifts, so almost the entire crew of the first Matrix was lucky enough to fall under his good graces. After filming ended, Keanu reportedly gave away $75 million, making costume and special effects artists millionaires overnight. After filming Reloaded, Keanu gave each of the stuntmen a Harley. For quite a while, he didn't even care about his living conditions and considered it normal to just rent an apartment or a hotel room. Keanu got a permanent home only in 2003, but he chose a very impressive villa he built back in 1988 in the Hollywood Hills in Los Angeles, costing nearly $5 million. The property is spread over an area of an acre and consists of a house made in constructivist style, a garage, a pond with decorative fish, and a long swimming pool. Keanu is known to create the interiors of his home with his own hands. He chose the finishing materials, selected the furniture, textiles, and decorations himself. At the same time, Reeves didn't build any fences, hedges, and he even used to keep his doors open. As for the cars, Keanu is an avid Porsche fan. He has a beautiful Carrera 4S in his garage. As a child, according to rumors, Keanu couldn't choose between a career as a nuclear physicist and a car racer. It is safe to say that he has fully realized his passion for speed and roaring engines. And if Porsche is just a passion for him, motorcycles can be called his true love. When he was 22, a pretty girl driving a Kawasaki Enduro caught his eye. Keanu borrowed a bike from her and asked her to teach him how to ride it. Since then, there have been many bikes in his life, including Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Harley. In 2011, all this resulted in the creation of his own brand. The Arch Motorcycle Custom Bike Company is run by just two people, Keanu Reeves and mechanic Gard Hollinger. All in all, the actor can easily travel by public transport as well. He can often be seen among subway passengers, and some even witnessed his gentlemanly behavior. Keanu also dresses quite simply and only as he feels comfortable. These are mostly stretched jeans, t-shirts, dark-colored jackets, and heavy boots. He might even show up to a prestigious award in his old sneakers. However, in 2019, Reeves became the face of the St. Laurent fashion house, thanks to which fans were able to appreciate the coolest style of their favorite actor. Stunning black and white photos in which Keanu is dressed in strict trousers, shirts with a tie, and daring leather jackets were as much anticipated as his next movies. By his own admission, Reeves has now entered his most enjoyable age. He finally had a life partner with whom he began to appear in public in 2019. Keanu and the artist Alexandra Grant were friends for a long time. She even helped the actor to publish his book called Ode to Happiness. So far, the couple doesn't comment on a possible wedding, but the available photos are full of mutual affection. Keanu admits that he has become quite wise, calm, and emotionally fulfilled. He wakes up in the morning with ease and does only what he wants to do. He can go for a run or play his beloved basketball, or he can stay home and cook something delicious with his friends all day and drink Bordeaux. He may have a nice glass of whiskey with a big ice cube when he's not occupied with work. He prefers moderation in food, making sure not to overeat. His diet includes chicken, vegetables, and rice, but sometimes Keanu enjoys eating steak or pizza. Potato chips and Coke are not forbidden either. Keanu's signature dish is Belgian waffles with butter and maple syrup. The actor calls this combination of proper diet and the occasional forbidden food the recipe of his youth. Sometimes his reservedness and private nature is perceived by people as a manifestation of some kind of emotional suffering. Thus, on June 15, 2010, the photo of Keanu taken by a photographer from one of the tabloids spread around the world. It shows Reeves sitting on a bench with a sandwich, embodying universal melancholy and hopelessness. The photo made a lot of noise. Many people were seriously worried that there was something wrong with the celebrity. This reaction shocked the actor. It turns out he was just thinking to himself and was hungry. However, this didn't stop witty fans from creating a couple hundred memes in which thoughtful Reeves sits in the company of a variety of characters, from Stalin and Churchill to kittens and skyscraper builders in New York. They even decided to establish the Cheer Up Keanu Day, which, thanks to one publication, is now celebrated every June 15. The actor himself was happy to insert an illustration with a reference to this day in his comic book, Berserker. By the way, the comic book, where the main character is based on Keanu himself, after the release in 2021, was so popular with readers that the company Netflix is making an anime series and a feature film based on it. Perhaps one day we will see Keanu Reeves on the Broadway stage, because he has a dream of playing in a musical. Why not? After all, he is not only an actor, but also a musician. In the 90s, he played bass guitar in the band Dogstar, and then he was a member of the grunge band Becky. Keanu is a star of incredible magnitude, a talented and bright actor, but in contrast to many of his colleagues, he is not arrogant. He is relatable and perceived by everyone as a guy next door. When he gets tired, he likes to drink hot tea with lemon and honey, and when he needs to stop and think, he sits down on a bench in the park and stares into the distance, not noticing anything around him. Unfortunately, life sometimes presents unpleasant surprises and trials that we all have to go through. At such moments, he says, "Don't let fear get a hold of you. Be afraid, but don't give up." Do you agree with Keanu?
A bit. But let's say it was my real grave. What would you write? Here lies Johnny Silverhand.
How Mel Gibson lives and what happened to him. Mel Gerard Gibson was born on January 3, 1956 in suburban New York. He was the sixth child in his Irish Catholic family. The boy was named after Saint Mel and Saint Columcille, who is venerated as one of the 12 disciples in Ireland. His parents, Patricia and Hatton Gibson, were ordinary, deeply religious people. They saw the meaning of life in their children, thus the family turned out to be quite large. They had 11 children in total. It seems that the great future of Mel was genetically determined because his paternal grandmother was an Australian opera star and his grandfather was a millionaire. He owned a successful tobacco business in the American South. The second ingredient in the formula of success was his parents' boundless love and care. They did everything they could to support the children. However, the family couldn't be called well off. The father was a conductor on the New York Central Railroad, where he sustained occupational injury. Having a high IQ and iron will, Hutton sued his former employer and got a substantial compensation of $145,000. Moreover, his sharp mind allowed him to win $21,000 in an international game show, and this money was very useful when the USA was about to enter a large-scale war conflict in Vietnam. The head of the family didn't want to risk the lives of their children, who would be eligible to be drafted for service to fight in a war, and he decided to move his family to Australia. Mel successfully graduated high school and got a parallel religious education, dreaming to become a journalist. But his sister helped him a lot to choose his future vocation. She knew that her brother was very artistic and liked to prank people, so she applied to Sydney National Institute of Dramatic Art on his behalf. Gibson himself was not very eager to go there. The day before the audition, he got very drunk and had a fight, and because of that, he didn't look very well. Fortunately, the commission liked this rough look, and he started his studies, living with his friends in Sydney. Among these friends was future Oscar winner Geoffrey Rush. While still a student, Mel appeared in his first movie, Summer City. This way, he earned only $400. Right after graduation, he started to receive offers for roles in movies, as well as an invitation to join the National Theatre Company. His first steps in this field brought him success. Almost simultaneously, two movies hit the theaters: critically acclaimed movie Tim and a cult dystopian movie Mad Max, directed by George Miller.
It'll take you 10 minutes to hack through it with this. Now, if you're lucky, you can hack through your ankle in 5 minutes. Go.
The Grim Road movie brought fame to the aspiring actor, and he earned 15,000 Australian dollars for that role, and eventually, Mad Max turned out to be the most successful Australian movie, grossing over $100 million worldwide. At first, the young actor didn't expect to get the lead role because he showed up to the audition after another fight. His face was swollen because of the bruises and abrasions. That's why he was advised to come back a few weeks later to try to get a role as one of the bandits. After getting himself together, Mel came back to the audition, and they offered him to try out the role of Max. No one realized that this handsome young man was there before, hungover and beaten. Fate gave Mel one gift after another, and this time he's got lucky in his personal life. He met a charming dentist's assistant, Robin Moore. The couple met in Adelaide. The actor came there touring with the theater, but there's also an alternative version, according to which they met with the help of a dating agency. Perhaps he had to use the services of the professional matchmakers because as a young man, Gibson suffered from an inferiority complex. He had a lot of fleeting relationships, he fought a lot, he drank a lot, and he got in all kinds of trouble. After another fight, Mel was on the verge of death, and that was the reason for him to turn his life around. In 1980, Mel and Robin got married. The marriage was very solid. It lasted for almost 30 years. They had 7 children, 5 sons, and 2 daughters. Getting a reliable refuge in his wife, Gibson proceeded to conquer the screens. In 1981, he starred in Miller's Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior.
2 days ago, I saw a vehicle that had hauled that tanker. You want to get out of here? You talk to me.
The movie was received well by the audience and praised by the critics. It was mentioned as one of the best movies of that year. Mel earned $120,000 for the shooting. At the same time, he appeared in several successful movies. A war drama Gallipoli about the hardships of the First World War, for which Gibson earned 35,000 Australian dollars, and Attack Force Z, an action film about the Second World War, which brought the actor 1,000 Australian dollars. And a romantic drama film called The Year of Living Dangerously, in which he starred with Sigourney Weaver. In the next couple of years, Gibson rocked Hollywood like a hurricane. He starred in one top-notch film after another. In 1984, an adventure drama, The Bounty, came out. Then the actor starred in the drama film called The River, which he got nominated for several Oscars, and a drama film called Mrs. Soffel. The popularity of the actor brought him a $1 million contract with a Japanese brewery called Asahi. According to the contract, the actor was obligated to regularly appear in public with a beer can. Gibson was thoroughly fulfilling the obligation, drinking around 8 cans of beer a day in a row, and when advised to replace beer with tea or water, he refused. Probably that contract backfired at Gibson because during this time he lost his driver's license for 3 months and got a $400 fine for drunk driving. In 1985, the third Mad Max movie was released. This was the last time Gibson played that role. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome was spectacular and action-packed, and Mel got 1.2 million Australian dollars for the role.
1 hour.
If you find him, what then?
I'll ask him to return what's mine.
Oh, and of course he'll be desperate to clear his conscience.
He will be.
You that good?
Mm-hmm.
He finally established his presence on the Hollywood Olympus by playing the lead role in the cult classic action movie Lethal Weapon in 1987.
$100,000. $100,000. Did you hear what he said?
100,000? I'm sorry, I can't afford that, not on my salary.
The movie brought its creators a bunch of awards, including an Academy Award nomination for Best Sound Mixing. Martin Riggs, masterfully created by Mel, is one of the best cinema characters according to Empire magazine. They filmed an alternative beginning depicting the main character as a less likable person, as well as the ending. They were included in the DVD release. The success of the first film prompted the producers to make a sequel, and between the 2 parts of the franchise, Gibson starred in a crime film, Tequila Sunrise. After the end of the filming of Lethal Weapon 2 in 1989, it became clear that it's not commercially reasonable to kill this character, and the original script was rewritten to allow another sequel to be made. There are 4 movies in the franchise in total.
And Riggs, one more thing.
What?
You know what that says?
Yeah. Same thing as that, but I don't give a...
Mel had to refuse the role of Batman to be able to star in the sequel. However, the magnificent performance in the first film gave Gibson the opportunity to fulfill the dream of any actor to play Hamlet in the film adaptation of Shakespeare's tragedy. The scene of Riggs' suicide attempt left director Franco Zeffirelli speechless, and he wanted only Mel to play the lead role. None of the major film companies wanted to fund the adaptation, so Gibson had to create his own company to begin the filming. This is how Icon Production was created. It introduced more than 20 movies. As a logo, Mel Gibson used a fragment of the Virgin of Vladimir icon. This made Mel Gibson very busy in the 90s. He starred in Bird on a Wire, Forever Young, and the action movie Air America. He got paid $7 million for the latter. In 1992, the fans saw the next movie about Martin Riggs. The third Lethal Weapon was a massive box office success and made Gibson richer by $10 million. Then, the American Western comedy Maverick thundered at the box offices, and Mel received even more money for it, $15 million.
I might have said a gutless cheat, but never a coward.
Cheat!
Never call a man a coward. I was teasing. Teasing!
Oh. I don't like being teased.
Besides, the ambitious Australian man tried his hand at directing. He filmed his first movie and played the lead role in it, The Man Without a Face. Despite the hopes, was not successful, which can't be said about Gibson's next movie. The epic historical war drama about Scotland's struggle for freedom, Braveheart, blew up the screen.
You tell your king that William Wallace will not be ruled, and nor will any Scot while I live.
The proof of the appreciation were 10 Oscar nominations. The movie won 5 of them, including one to Mel Gibson himself for Best Director. He also won a Golden Globe for Best Director. The story of the film creation is full of fun facts. For example, Mel's character is only 20 years old according to the script, and the actor himself was 38 at the time of the filming. Initially, the movie was supposed to be much more gruesome, but they cut out controversial scenes from the film to lower the age rating. The animal rights activists had some issues with the movie because they didn't believe that no horses was harmed during the filming. Gibson managed to get out of the scandal. He proved that some horses were mechanical. In 2000, in a special auction, the sword that was used by Gibson during the filming was sold for $170,000. In 1995, Mel tried his hand at animation. He took part in voice acting in 2 projects, Casper and Pocahontas. Right after that, Gibson starred in 2 thriller movies for which he got $20 million, Ransom and Conspiracy Theory. In 1998, Lethal Weapon 4 was released. Mel broke his personal record again and got $25 million for the role. Moreover, he signed a profitable advertising contract with a Japanese company, Subaru, and appears in the commercial driving a right-hand drive Legacy sedan through Stockholm and New York. By the way, Mel himself chose another Japanese car. He's driving a modest sedan Toyota Cressida. At the turn of the century, the fans saw Mel in another action movie called Payback and in The $1 Million Hotel. He also voiced a character in Chicken Run. The historical drama, The Patriot, was praised by the audience, for which Gibson got $25 million.
I understood you to be patriot. If you mean by patriot, am I angry about taxation without representation? Well, yes, I am.
It's peculiar that Mel asked to make several changes to the script. They added another child to the 6 children the character had because at that moment, Mel himself had 7 children. The movie, What Women Want, holds a special place in Mel's career.
You ever consider dating a woman who wears real underwear? You know, the kind that covers the entire bottom the way it's supposed to.
No, but if I ever do, should I give you a call?
A hoax and prank enthusiast, he brilliantly played the role of a charming ladies' man who gained the ability to hear women's thoughts after being electrocuted. The comedy film was a smashing hit, getting over $374 million in the worldwide box office. It was ranked 4th among the most successful movies of 2000. At the same time, Mel got into a huge-scale pharmaceutical war waged by the United States Department of Health and Human Services. It was trying to restrict the consumption of vitamins by the Americans. As a protest, Gibson appeared in a video in which his home is raided by a SWAT team. The actor, wearing a bathrobe and holding a vitamin C container, says to the SWAT team, "It's just vitamins." Since the early aughts, Gibson has not been that active as an actor. He appeared in such films as Signs and We Were Soldiers, which brought him $50 million in total, a musical crime comedy, The Singing Detective, and the TV series Complete Savages. Mel spent more and more energy and resources on his own projects, mostly as a director. His 2004 epic biblical drama film, The Passion of the Christ, was a really huge event. The movie shocked the public, depicting the last 12 hours of the life of Jesus Christ. The dialogues in this movie were written in reconstructed Aramaic, ancient Hebrew, and Latin. Gibson, after the release of the movie, proclaimed that the Holy Spirit was the real creator of the film and he was just a vehicle. He even donated $100 million to the Catholic Church. The filming process was very difficult. The lead actor was constantly injured, including a lightning strike. To make it more authentic, they decided to avoid using CGI. The job was done exclusively by makeup artists who spent 10 hours on it. Moreover, the actor who played Jesus received real lashes and carried a real wooden cross weighing 154 pounds. Thanks to this selfless and rigorous approach, the movie turned out to be grand. The whole society was shocked, including Pope John Paul II, who praised the movie, and Gibson's daughter Hannah was so impressed that she even expressed a desire to take the veil and become a nun. The phenomenal box office receipts of the movie was no surprise. It earned $609 million worldwide. Because of that, it is still in the top 10 of the highest grossing R-rated movies. After the filming, Mel decided to buy the lush green Mago Island in Fiji archipelago measuring 8 square miles for $15 million. He said he plans on preserving the island's original condition for recreation, and he remains true to his words. The satellite images show only dirt airstrip, Mel Gibson's mansion in the northern part of the island, and houses of locals who are paid by the actor. The next large-scale project of the Icon Company was the mystical movie Apocalypto, based on the historical myths and legends of the Maya tribe. Gibson was the producer, the director, and the screenwriter of the movie. Same as in the previous movie, Mel tried to make it as authentic as possible and didn't trust CGI to do the job. It was filmed mostly in the Mexican state of Veracruz, and they reconstructed step pyramids very close to the original. In the movie, Mayans are depicted as very cruel people, which was criticized by many historians, and representatives of one of the ethnic communities filed a report to the Human Rights Commission of the Yucatan state. At the same time, there was a huge scandal when Mel was arrested for drunk driving again. This time, the movie star acted really inappropriately, shouting anti-Semitic slogans and racial slurs. This stunt almost ruined Gibson's reputation, but he got away with it. He publicly apologized, speaking about lapses in judgment he's having from time to time. After this incident, Gibson retreated into the shadows for 10 years and didn't film any movies. Craving for solitude, in 2007, Mel bought a mansion with a plot of land of 400 acres on the Costa Rica coast. He's been thinking about buying a piece of this picturesque land when he was searching for a location for the Apocalypto shooting. He bought it for $26 million. This ranch consists of a villa surrounded by tropical forest and a cute backyard. The home features several classic colonial-style bedrooms, wood-dominated dining rooms, and an on-site pool. Later, Mel tried to sell the house for $35 million. After all, Mel Gibson is not just a great actor, but a good businessman as well. He knows how to sell. In 2007, he sold another mansion in the Tudor style in Connecticut for $40 million, which he bought in 1994 for $9 million. This 15-bedroom castle-like mansion is surrounded by a stunningly beautiful garden, and the interiors of the living room with fireplace, library, and dining room are strikingly rich and charmingly old-fashioned. This break from the film industry and property purchase can be explained by the problems in his personal life. In the spring of 2009, there were rumors that Mel's solid family split up. Allegedly, the spouses had not been living together for 3 years. Soon, Gibson showed up to the premiere of X-Men Origins Wolverine with a Russian pianist and singer Oksana Grigorieva. She met Gibson during the filming of one of the movies, and pretty soon, the smitten actor became the producer of her album. There is a theory that the meeting was not an accident, but was organized by a known in certain circles matchmaker, Peter Listerman. However, this information is not confirmed at all. After the joint appearance in the news about Oksana being 4 months pregnant, Robin filed for divorce and got half of the net worth of the adulterer, $850 million. Besides that, Mel has to pay half of his income to his ex-wife, and later she got 2 Malibu mansions worth a total of $22.5 million. Actually, the breakup fee of the Gibsons is considered to be one of the largest in the history of Hollywood. In October 2009, Mel and Oksana had a daughter, who became the 8th child of the actor. The new family with newborn Lucienne lived in a $11.5 million mansion situated in Malibu. Mel bought the house from his friend, David Duchovny, but the family life didn't work out, and after 18 months, the couple split up, and a few months later, Grigorieva filed a police report stating that she was physically abused by Gibson. They have opened a criminal case against Mel, and he received 3 years suspended sentence, a $400 fine, and a restraining order prohibiting him from seeing their mutual daughter. Also, the court ordered him to pay his common-law spouse a $750,000 compensation and pay $40,000 each month until the child reaches the age of 18. Also, Oksana got a mansion in Sherman Oaks, which Gibson bought in 2009 for $2.4 million. The court ordered Mel to pay maintenance costs as well, but the woman wanted more, so she posted on social media a recorded phone call between her and Mel, during which he used racial slurs. This almost cost the actor his career and reputation. Many people turned against him, but not Jodie Foster, Robert Downey Jr., Robert Rodriguez, and Sylvester Stallone. They helped out the actor. Thanks to Rodriguez and Stallone, he managed to appear in such movies as Machete Kills, where he played a villain for the first time, and The Expendables 3.
He thinks I'm joking. I'm not joking. You should see me when I'm angry. You'd be very impressed. Then very dead.
As a result of the loud scandal, the filming of the action movie Get the Gringo was delayed, and the premiere of the eccentric drama The Beaver was cancelled. It was planned to premiere in December 2010, considering the Oscar nominations, but it was released only in May 2011. The premiere was a flop. The movie failed at the box office. To top it all off, in 2010, the actor got into a car accident. He crashed his Maserati car against a rock cliff on one of the Malibu roads. Fortunately, Gibson was not harmed, which can't be said about the car. It had to be towed. It was completely totaled. After this point, the actor decided to drive a convenient electric smart car. He's been driving it for many years already. Mel tried to forget about the previous relationship, and in 2012, it was reported that he's dating athlete Ashley Cusato, but it didn't last very long. The next period of Mel's life can be considered a reset. He was completely inactive both in professional and personal life. Only in 2016, Gibson renewed his activity. He appeared in the action film Bloodfather and then directed Hacksaw Ridge, which brought him an Oscar nomination as Best Actor. Also, it was reported that his new girlfriend, Rosalind Ross, is pregnant with the actor's 9th child. On January 20, 2017, the couple had a baby. They named him Lars Gerard. Thus, Mel has the second place in the top of actors with the largest number of kids. Only Charlie Chaplin had more kids than Mel. He had 11. But something tells us that Gibson may beat this record. In the last couple of years, Gibson appeared as an actor in such movies as Dragged Across Concrete, Boss Level, Force of Nature, Dangerous, and Daddy's Home 2.
Why does a duck have feathers?
Why?
To cover up his butt quack.
Hey, kids, I got a good one for you. 2 dead hookers wash up on the shore.
Hey, whoa, shut up.
The most peculiar film he starred in recently is probably The Professor and the Madman, 2018. This movie was in production for 17 years. The filming process was full of scandals and lawsuits, so the production company Voltage Pictures banned the crew from filming in Oxford, England. The reason given was budget overruns and lack of time, and as a result, the filming was moved to Ireland. Enraged, Gibson couldn't let the company cripple his film this way, and he tried to ban the release of the film through the court, but he failed. In revenge, he decided not to participate in the advertising campaign. In 2020, there was a premiere of a comedy action film, Batman, with Mel Gibson in the lead role.
Remember when my bacon went through the vegan sugar-free phase?
Yeah. I was lucky to survive it. Must have lost 12 pounds.
In 2021, Gibson appeared in the action films Agent Game, Dangerous, and Last Looks. And the following year, audiences could see the actor in Father Stu, On the Line, Hot Seat, Panama, and Bandit. After all the lawsuits and alimony, Mel Gibson's net worth is now $425 million. Despite the fact that according to some open source estimates, Mel received a record sum of $450 million for The Passion of the Christ and invested only $30 million of his personal money. According to the most recent accounts, Mel is not sitting idle. Gibson is gonna be the director of Lethal Weapon 5. Besides, he will play the lead role in the Continental miniseries, which is about to be released. The most intriguing is the rumor that the actor is working on the sequel of his epic film about the life and death of Jesus Christ called The Passion of the Christ Resurrection, where Gibson will act as director, screenwriter, and producer. We tried our best to tell you all about the life of this brilliant actor, talented director, and unique person, Mel Gibson. Do you think he'll manage to surprise the world with a new masterpiece as he did with Braveheart and The Passion of the Christ? If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.